Hey yo, it's your boy Gaines. Hey, John.
All right, everyone. My name is Buck John, or I go by Buck John, and I'm a content creator on TikTok, struggling on Instagram and Facebook, but you might know me from being an Asian Dreamer, my Lao content and whatnot. And today, we're going to be trying to do this live stream chat talk thing here. And today I got Chinda Vongkampa, or Gaines. Gaines, can you introduce yourself, please, sir?
Yes. Sabadi, Sok Sabai, Narjong. I don't know what else you can say, but yeah, thank you. First time being on here. Hopefully we could do some more, but my name is Chinda Vongkampa. And it's so funny because like I started off using a different name, as I got into the adult and try to change myself, but you can call me Gaines. You can call me definitely Chinda. I go with either or, aka Gaines. It's your boy.
Yeah. So just a little backstory. I started, my, content creation journey a little over a year ago. I kind of had to bust out of my shell, and I was like, you know what? Screw it. I don't care what people think about me. Like, I'm very hyperactive. I'm just going to do skits, and I want to do things that are relatable. And I busted out a few skits, and Chinda actually, he reached out to me, like, I'm talking like probably within 10 hours of me posting my original TikToks with my son and with me doing like the Lao party thing. Yeah, and we've been in contact since. He's been an avid supporter of my content, and that's how we basically know each other. We also met at Sabaidi Fest last year. It was an amazing experience. And yeah, so let's just jump right into some questions. We're going to talk today.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we're going to talk today basically about our culture. We're going to talk about early influences. So can you share some of your earliest memories of growing up in America as someone of Lao descent? And how did your family's cultural backgrounds shape your childhood?
Honestly speaking, I had a great childhood growing up in the west side of Fresno. Our community is so tight and knit. Everybody spoke Lao. Everybody knew your parents, knew your grandpa. Poo, shout out to Poo. And that's the thing, that he is still exactly where we stayed at, in the Ville, in the west side.
Yeah.
So everybody knows him because of that too, as well too. So he's like Triple OG. I call him Triple OG.
He's famous.
'Cause he's the yeah. He's more famous than all of us combined.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely a great experience to grow up with a bunch of our people. We had my mom, and we had the neighbors that actually like made papaya out in the Ville at the park.
Mm-hmm.
So we had our own park.
Yeah.
And we had a volleyball net, and all the OG, they played volleyball. The kids played basketball. The kids ride bikes, skate.
Yeah.
It was just like this perfect, like,
tight-knit community.
Like, yeah, it was so good.
Yeah.
And like we had like other ethnicity that was involved too, but the majority of that community was Lao folks.
Yeah. That's exciting, because as you speak on that, we actually have similar experiences. It's kind of hard in Alaska because it's not sunny as always. We were on the phone earlier, and he was showing me, he was in shorts. Meanwhile, I was like in a full-on jacket and whatnot. But here in Alaska, same thing. We would go to parks, and they would set up like the volleyball net, and they would play kathak, and all the adults would play that. The women per se would be cooking and making, shish kebabs and lap and papaya salad and everything. Kids are running around, stuff like that. So that's a very unique experience, which I feel like is particular to Kwan Lao, because we had to come together as a community to make it in America. It looks like it's a shared experience across the board.
Absolutely.
How did your family's cultural background shape your childhood? Were there any negative, side effects growing up in Latin America?
Honestly, the negative aspect of that is because I don't know, like we grew up like poor, you know?
Yeah.
So we didn't see that like opportunity. And when we did get that opportunity, now there's different levels of income, you know?
Right.
Like some people felt like, hey, I make money, I have a degree, so I can look down at the people that didn't choose that opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah.
So growing up is like I'm always like trying to like showcase myself. Like I didn't need a degree to be somebody.
Right.
I didn't need a degree to like be heard. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, 100%.
That's one of-
and you're always working, and you work very hard, and it shows in your socials as well, and just you know when we talk personally. And I think that it's definitely learned behavior too from our parents when we came over to the United States. That's all we could do to survive because we were immediately on the welfare system as soon as we came over, and unfortunately living in low-income housing and stuff like that. But you had to work to survive. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I had always theorized a generational class, and it's funny that we're kind of having this today, and it's also my finals for my class. But I'm just gonna kind of read this excerpt that I had in my paper, and it talks about 3 generations of Lao people that I've always seen. So it breaks up into 3 generations. The elder generation, the working generation, and the first generation Americans. Those are the 3 that I've categorized that make up us Lao folk. The elder generation were most likely in their 50s and for the most part set in their ways. Because I hate to say it like this, but you can't teach a dog old tricks. But also, you coming over to the United States, it's hard to speak English, right? Like it's really difficult for you to make a living at that age coming from what they had just experienced, right? Any sense of assimilation was slim due to a few precipitating factors, I believe, and they didn't assimilate into American society due to age, socioeconomics, and culture. Being older and having just carried their families through war, the elders couldn't simply just enter the workforce, so it wasn't really easy for elders. Not speaking English was a significant barrier that I think, and they were tied to government assistance, welfare, housing, and food stamps. We know this. However, the elders were the foundation of preserving Lao culture, and they kept cultural traditions and practices alive. So that's what I theorize about the elder generation. And then the second generation is gonna be the working class generation that I had also stated that they were the working age of 18 to 30. They were subject to carrying the family, basically burdening the workload. This meant that they were paying the bills, raising their siblings, taking care of their elder parents, and life for this generation of immigrants really was not easy. I think that this generation assimilated better than their parents due to the fact that they were in the education system and in the workforce. They continued to exist in American society, but within their own communities, like having their own distinct identity. So like they would go to work, right? But then come back together and they would stay within that community. And you see that in our parents. And then the last generation is obviously us, the first generation Americans, or the offspring of children of the working generation. They basically are us. We grew up in American society. I think we assimilated really well to American society, but also at the same time, many of us don't know how to speak Lao that well, and which was hard. So language is important to preserving Lao culture, and it was almost as if the more fluent you were in the language, the more connected you were to the culture. So those were the 3 generations that I had written down. It's crazy to think that we are the grandchildren that are trying to bring it back. Yeah. Well, I mean, what do you think?
No, it's definitely to par exactly how history is playing out right now. I grew up experiencing all that, like we're trying to adapt American society background and then try to like continue our legacy. So we definitely carry a lot on our back as first generation.
Yeah.
And I'm doing my very, very best to make sure that, hey man, if we speak Lao or we carry the tradition is cool.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and it's working. Like you can tell by Dragonface, Timmy, Jonathan, like they're picking that trait up, and they're like, you know what, I'm gonna run with this because this reflects us, you know.
Right.
This makes us look really good.
Yeah.
So it's not, we're not gonna stop, you know. And look where we're at. We have a platform. We have people singing songs. Like I just uploaded a video of the little girl singing.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Stella Pond. Like, dude, think about it.
Yeah.
They're proud. They're super proud of our background, our heritage, everything, and it's just like it makes me feel so good that I was part of that, you know.
Yeah, we're making a comeback.
I'm just so excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, and that's the thing. Like when I see you, when I see other people, like, dude, I'm gonna uplift you guys, because without all of us as a community, it's not gonna work. It's not just one person that's doing this.
100%.
There isn't one person that makes this possible. It's all of us combined. It's a bond. You know.
No, it's that you say it. That's true. That's true, because a lot of where I'm at now is because other content creators, other Lao content creators believed in me, and they reached out to me and they spoke with me and they talked to me, you know. I mean, it would have been, I could have done it myself probably, you know what I mean? But like, it means more to me that other content creators are reaching out to me and be like, hey man, you are doing good things. Please continue what you're doing. Let's get with us and let's be part of the movement. And it was such a like heartwarming thing to know that I was going to be part of a grassroots movement to revive our culture, this cultural renaissance, you know what I mean? So,
hey, there's one person that I didn't get a shout out, is my younger sister, that one girl, Victoria.
Yeah.
She does not get enough praise, but she has done a lot for the community as well. And she is like, she not only that she does the video, but she's also part of the LCCF at Fresno State. There's a lot of stuff that she put together, so do not forget about her. She's a part of it. Woman's power. Let's get this all together. It's not just the men, it's the woman as well too. Yes.
I remember at the festival last year, she was running all over the place. She was super busy. You know, when I think of her, I think of your sister, I think of a really powerful skit that she made. It was one about basically transitioning to America. I love that kind of content because it really puts into perspective what we went through. And, you know, it was like little transitions, like, you know, her green screen, they were in Laos and they were running away. They crossed the Mekong River, and I'm getting chills talking about it right now. But now we're here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just a crazy thing. So on top of that, I was speaking with another content creator last night, kind of about how our parents, how they struggled, and then our elders also struggled. Came over to America and was all of a sudden just supposed to forget. And it's something that I want to talk about because I think it's interesting, right? Like how we were raised was directly reflective of of the trauma and the things that they went through, right? I hear in passing, you know, hey, your uncle this or your uncle that, they sacrificed a lot for their family. A lot of people had without trying to air out any business, had families prior to coming over to the United States. And because of the political lines and the war, they had to like part from their family that they already had and abandon and then like come over to the United States. And I didn't realize that was actually kind of a common thing, because I've heard that from 2 or 3 people now, that they've had, you know, a wife, or, you know, they were pregnant, and then to protect their family, they had to flee, and they're here. And now everything is just supposed to stop and be quiet, you know? And it's just, to me, that's probably the most traumatic thing that anybody can experience, because you're almost like suffering alone. And I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but it seems to be the consensus that there was some harsh treatment growing up. And I mean, yeah, what do you think about the harsh treatment part? Do you agree?
On my end, I probably felt it the most, you know. I really grew up with like having difficulty to talk. I stuttered a lot.
Yep.
I didn't believe in myself. You know, like it's crazy to think the person I am today. I had to break out of that shell. You know, like there was nights that I would hear my dad's voice belittling me, yelling at me.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's and I don't know, just one day I decided like, hey, I gotta break out of this and be the man that I'm supposed to be, you know?
Yeah.
And like there's some nights that are like I hear it and then I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
That was little Chinda,
Yeah.
you know, going through that, you
Yeah.
know. And it just like when I look at my son, I'm like, I could never wish that he go through that. It was tough. Like when people look at me nowadays, I'm like, damn, this guy is like super happy, friendly. Like it looked like he didn't go through nothing.
Yeah.
But deep down inside, bro, I went through a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
And it's just like and that's the thing is like I don't want to show that weak side of me.
Right.
Like, I really don't want to show that because that's for me and myself and my close ones to know and to experience.
Right.
But
Yeah.
on now I'm like, you know, like at this peak where like I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna show that to just anybody.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like how you spoke about you looking at your son and you're like, I just can't imagine. And really, that's breaking generational curses. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, I can't complain, and I just don't want to say, you know, it was all that bad for me, right? Because it wasn't, right? But it truly is breaking generational curses. You know, how we speak to our children, how we care for them, you know, how we dote on them is completely different than how it was in prior generations. You know, I'm excited for the next generation to see what it is. Moving on to the next question. They're talking about school and identity. How did your Lao identity influence your experiences in school? So it's interesting. It'll be different for everyone, you know.
Oh, absolutely. It was crazy. Dude, I went like when I came to the States, I did not speak a lick of English, right?
Yeah.
I still remember second grade, I believe, one of my close friends, Fredo Sanchez, was just like, hey, man, I remember when you, in the second grade, you wanted to use the bathroom, and guess what you said? Soda, because that's all you knew how to say. So you would raise your hand and like, soda, soda, soda.
No way.
You know, like, yeah, it was that bad. Like, I had to stay back in third grade. Like, I didn't speak English with them. And then when I tell people all this stuff, like, yeah, I barely got my citizenship this year. I had my green card all this time. Like,
oh, wow.
No one believes me. No one believes me.
That is wild. Okay.
Yeah.
That is crazy. That reminds me of a story that my grandma used to tell me about a relative of ours who went to Laos and Americanized, of course. And the only thing that relative knew how to say was "hiu khao," right? Can I hiu khao? So of course they're all, you know, by dinner and everyone's eating, you know, and the kid just didn't understand, you know, "Chào im bo." No, can I hiu khao? Can I hiu khao? And they just kept feeding, and they're like, "Chào im bo, không kin lai," you know, and she's like, "No, hiu khao," and they were just like, "Oh my god!" So it went a while before they understood, like, he's not hungry, he's full, he just doesn't know how to speak Lao, you know. So that's funny, man. Speaking of languages, how did your family approach language maintenance? Did you grow up bilingual? And how did this impact your communication with family and within the broader American society?
Honestly speaking, it was really like my dad has been a really strict person, and when it came to speaking Lao, it was just like you had to know it, you know.
Oh wow, okay.
You would lose face if you didn't know it, you know, like "Chuk put a son mung, huh?" You know, like that exact words, man. You know, "Lu put any, huh?"
Yeah.
What's la chuk le, ui.
Yeah.
You know, still jati. You know, like all like trust me, I've everything. I'm keeping it PG, okay? I'm not even throwing the R into this.
I hear
it. It just like, bro, like it tormented my head like so much, like, and it's crazy at the time where like I had to change my name to Jim just to feel like, you know, like I don't want to do this anymore. Like it was that bad, bro.
You went from Chinda to Buck Jim.
Yeah,
that's
and
crazy.
It's, you know, my wife and my in-laws, they slip out sometimes like, "Hey, Jim." Like, it's not Jim anymore. I'm sorry.
That's awesome. You're taking it back. That's freaking awesome to hear. I didn't even know that about you. That's crazy.
Yeah, because I have to like honestly, I had a breakout
Yeah.
and realize that, hey, this is me. You know, this is who I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so like, as you can see, like I'm working double. I'm working my
Yeah.
triple shift right now.
Right.
To gain back that, you know.
Yeah. Dude, I love the
it's just-
idea of that. You know, reclaiming your identity. That's
Yeah,
powerful. Yeah.
It was honestly at a time I thought I was embarrassed of myself. You know, I thought I was just like, you know, like this. I don't want to be that loud kid.
Yeah.
Hey John, we gotta cut it short though.
All right, brother.
We're
It was
getting into
good.
that 30 minutes.
All right. It was good. We
too.
did it. We kept
We
putting
did
it
it,
off,
our first
y'all.
one.
We finally did it.
First one.
All right. Cool. Yeah, Chinda, thanks for having this with me. I hope to do this more often. And yeah, I'm super excited for the future, guys. Like, I had so many other questions, but I get it. You know, we're both dads and we're both busy. So,
Hey, follow and subscribe for part 2.
Yes, let's do it.
You
All
know
right.
what I mean?
All right, man.
All right, brother.
Take care,
We're
brother.
gonna run it back.
Yeah.
Have a good night. God bless.
That was awesome. That was an awesome interview. I am super excited for what is to come. No wonder. Anyways, great chemistry. See you guys next time. I love ya! Hey guys, don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more episodes. Please like and share to spread the word.